friends get together so they can try things. Yell about it to this podcast so that you can try things. Now we will stop singing so that we can all now try this.
Hello and welcome to Now Try This. Nick, what's Now Try This?
Now Try This is a podcast where two best friends get together and they they try things.
What is this?
Well, my lad, there's tons of things you can try out there. There's things in your heart and there's things in your head. And this week we usually challenge each. I can't do that. I can't do it for much longer.
Nick, why do an Irish accent? Was it because you watched this movie and heard the terrible, terrible Irish accent, and then you were like, you know what? Mine's not so bad.
Isn't Gerard Butler Irish?
He's Scottish, and he does a bad Irish accent. I'm gonna say that.
See, coming from somebody who's just bad at accents, I was like, yeah, Irish, got it. Easy.
Yo, your accent was better.
My Irish isn't too bad. I would work stronger on my Irish accent, but I really don't need to because who's gonna hire a Puerto Rican to do an Irish accent? Not a lot of people.
You never know.
You know, you're right.
I would watch that
I'll
movie.
do it for the rest. I'll do it for the rest of today. I will call you lad.
Okay, not in the rest of the day. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, Denny boy.
No, please stop.
The pipes are calling. Marcus,
no,
this is a podcast where two best friends get together to try things. We usually challenge each other on challenges, like last week when I challenged you to watch one of my favorite films, Moulin Rouge.
Yes, you did.
And you loved it.
I did like it a lot. It was a good time.
But this week is a little different. Marcus, why is this week different?
Nick, this week our challenge comes from Patreon. Over on Patreon, you can subscribe, you can join and become a patron. And for $5, you can leave us suggestions. And every month we create a poll, and everyone from $5 to $1, all patrons can vote on that poll and decide what we do for that month. So our challenge this month is P.S. I Love You, and it comes from our Patreon.
Yes, shout out to Alexandria for this suggestion. You won the vote. Congratulations. But guys, it's a new month. Go ahead, head over to that Patreon, patreon.com/nowtrythiscast, and cast in your suggestions. Honestly, there have been some really interesting things, and I really want to see even more. I love the fact that we're trying things we never would have tried because of that Patreon. Guys, and if you want to get us another way, you can get us everywhere at Now Try This Cast. You can go to our website, nowtrythiscast.com. You can leave us a review on Apple iTunes, and you can follow us on Twitch. You can subscribe to us there with your Amazon Prime for free, or just $5. That lets you get our VODs all the time, and we record live Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. And check out our schedule on Twitch because we also stream some other times, other things like a Pokemon Nuzlocke that Marcus and I are in the middle of trying.
Hell yeah! We did Pokemon Nuzlocke last night, and that was a fun time. I legitimately look forward to it the entire week. I was very, very excited.
It is a crazy challenge we've set up for yourself. And Marcus, I did a little more research. The version of Pokemon we're doing right now, the latest update, there's not a lot of YouTubers doing it randomized because it's so difficult. There's not a lot. I watched one guy start it. He got a Darmanitan to start. Pretty good mon. He died for Brock.
Bird boy. Bitch. Yeah. Bird boy bitch. That's what he's going from now on.
Faulkner, the bird boy bitch. Guys, if you want to know what that means, you can check out our YouTube channel. Just search Now Try This Cast. All our VODs are there as well for free.
Yeah.
Marcus.
Also, small achievement before we get into anything else. If you search Now Try This Cast on YouTube, we don't come up. It was not until like this week that now when you search Now Try This Cast on YouTube, one of our videos actually shows up.
Oh my God. Still only as one word though. If you put just Now Try This in there, it still doesn't come up.
No, there's too many things with Now Try This.
Yeah. Oh no, we come up. We're number 4.
Yeah.
5 and
We're
7.
Doing it.
Right after a food channel called Now Try It that has some homemade Basan K Sev recipe. Guys, we need to be better than, that has a lot of views. We need to be better than Now Try It. Guys, go ahead and head over to our YouTube. Marcus.
Yes.
Before we get into this, let's just say controversial movie. P.S. I Love You. People love it and hate it.
People love it and hate it. I have not looked at any reviews for it. So I might have to mosey on over to the review corner and see what's popping over there later on in the podcast.
Marcus, before I ask you the question I always ask you, I will just say P.S. I Love You has 2 different scores that are some of the wildest things I've seen. The audience score for P.S. I Love You is 80%. That
80%?
That tracks to people who I've talked to. The layman loves this movie. The tomato meter is 25%.
Holy shit. You don't see scores that dramatically different other than in
Star
DC
Wars.
comic book movies.
Yeah.
Star Wars that is where you see that. When there is a hardcore fandom involved, that's where you see drastically different scores. And like a DC movie, this movie was bad.
Well, we will talk about it. But before we get to that, Marcus, let me know what's going on in your week. Have you tried anything new?
Oh man, what have I tried this week? I have watched a new show called Taskmaster. Shout out to Taskmaster. It's a show that I've been loving a lot recently, and it may show up in a future challenge. I just have to figure out how to do it right.
Sure.
It's a British show about comedians are given tasks, and they just have to complete them in whatever way they see fit, and it's very funny.
Okay, great.
What about you? Have you tried anything new?
Wow, what a question. What a great question. I finally gotten into full swing for my new job. Guys, I know this might disappoint some of you, but I am not a professional podcast host. Not quite yet. In the interim, I am teaching chess to children, and my heart has melted this past week and a half with some of these kids because they've been loving learning chess. Marcus, I was teaching this one girl about chess, and outside of her window, a crow and a dove showed up, and she got distracted and said, "Oh, look, a crow and a dove." And then she stopped, and then she looked and said, "Oh, it's the white and black king in bird form." You think they're playing chess? I was like, yeah, they're totally playing chess.
Oh man,
it was so adorable.
That's adorable as fuck.
Yeah,
I don't believe that story.
In one of my stories, there's King Shaky is the black king, and he only moves one step at a time because he's so scared. He only shakily moves one step at a time. So he lives in a pillow castle.
Yeah.
After the story, she went and got pillows. It's like, oh, I have one of King Shaky's pillows. I was like, oh,
that's adorable.
Breaking
I love that.
Marcus, my biological clock has done this week, a big old
6 o'clock.
It is 6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock over here in Nicholas Land because of these chess lessons. Marcus.
Yeah. What's going on?
I don't know how to transition to the thing because I usually ask you why you gave it to me.
Here's okay, Nick.
As much as I love our patrons, I don't think this one gave us anything to work on.
Nick, what kind of person do you think likes this movie? Not to offend our wonderful patron who submitted this challenge, but we're gonna say our honest opinions, and we hope you don't leave the Patreon. Thank you very much.
Marcus, I think the type of person who loves the movie P.S. I Love You has never seen a good No, I think the kind of person who likes P.S. I Love You the most out of all rom-coms, out of all movies, is someone who, you know what? P.S. I Love You does one thing really well.
Okay, wait, no. That's not what I asked you. Stop trying to.
No, it's a transition. It's a transition.
Okay, are you gonna answer the question? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing that I think it does better than anything else is I really do think Gerard Butler loves Hilary Swank unconditionally. This movie, I think, does do that well. Now, granted, he's dead after 10 minutes, so it's almost a moot point, right?
100%.
It's almost a moot point because he's gone for most of the film.
Yeah.
But I think that genuine thing is something people latch onto.
Okay.
And they're they see, real love.
Yes.
Without the gimmicks, without the stuff. Yes, I love this movie. And just completely disregards everything that's wrong with it because of that one thing.
Nick, I have to give you credit, okay?
Ooh.
I have to give you credit because if it weren't for you, I would be uncultured rom-com swine. And I would not have any experience in the rom-com world. I wouldn't know what was going on. And to me, this movie would have just been, this is kind of what maybe all rom-coms are. But I have watched some good-ass rom-coms on this podcast. About Time, great movie. Okay?
Great movie.
And really, that's the main one that I'm talking about.
Sure, but you also have seen The Notebook. You appreciate what it does.
Sure,
You've seen Runaway Bride. So the rom-coms of the 90s, you get.
I understand some tropes.
Right. Yes.
It's
The
not like I have,
sensibilities
oh,
are
what's
there.
this movie? It's so old. It's so different. It was a different time. That's
Even
not
something
true.
like Princess Diaries is kind of a
Mhm.
rom-com, and it like goes a different kind of direction. So
Yeah.
you've seen the gambit. You've seen the
Yeah.
gambit.
Yeah, and because of
Yeah.
Darren, I've been watching some more modern rom-com movies that are really
Like what?
good. God, what was
Shout
the
out
name
to
of that
Darren one
one?
time.
There was a really good one about
I love
all
this
the
game, please.
things.
Yeah,
Oh man, I forgot
All
what
the
it's
Things?
called. But
Love
there's
Actually.
this little girl. I guess
little
she's
girl.
not a little girl. She's a high school kid, but that's a little girl. I don't know. But there's a girl and there's a guy and they become best friends and she's helping the half of it on Netflix. That's what it's called. Great movie. There's a girl who's in love with another girl in school and there's a guy who's also in love with that girl.
Marcus,
And
I haven't watched the half of it.
It's so good.
Oh, did you watch?
It is so good. I love it.
Did you watch the Netflix show that's kind of like a rom-com that Mindy Kaling produced?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, what show is that? Nick, don't watch
Never
the
Have I
half of
Ever.
it because I'll give it to you at some point. I think they might make a sequel or something.
Great. Never Have I Ever.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
Okay, don't watch it. I'm gonna give it to you at some point when
Okay.
it comes back. With the second season.
That's how this podcast works. Don't watch this. I gotta give it to
Don't
you.
watch. Guys, now you have the insight. We have lifted the curtain. There are literally dozens of things that Marcus and I both have the same kind of taste, but we just missed the boat on some stuff.
Mhm.
Where it's like Marcus would have watched Moulin Rouge years ago if it wasn't for me in this podcast. I would have watched this or that years ago. There's tons of animes, there's tons of books, there's tons of things where we're just like waiting for the day when it's like, I mean, the other day I was like, maybe I should watch the Studio Ghibli movie, and I'm like, no, Marcus needs like back matter for the podcast. He just needs like backup. So let me just wait.
Which one was it? I can tell you right now.
I think it was Princess Mononoke I was gonna watch.
Don't watch that one.
Marcus, you've given me two. Grave of the Fireflies and Spirited Away.
That's true. But you didn't watch Grave of the Fireflies. You gave it to someone else. Remember that episode? Remember that travesty? I mean, it wasn't a travesty. It was just a shame you didn't get to watch it. That's all. That's all. The only travesty that happened, really.
That's how I feel about Fault in Our Stars. That would have been a great example of a rom-com that would have gotten you to watch, but you sued me and you subbed yourself out for that podcast episode.
But
shame.
This movie is so I would have been uncultured. I would not have known what a good rom-com is if you didn't force me by chaining me to this podcast and making me watch all of these rom-coms.
That's how I
So now I have standards. I didn't have standards before, but now coming into this, I have standards for what I expect out of a rom-com. I've got the half of it. I've got About Time. I have a repertoire now.
Ooh, just so I have a frame of reference, I think this is a great question. Tell me why, concisely, why is About Time a great rom-com? Like, why is that one like one of your this is it? This is a rom-com. This is like the one.
I like how you complimented yourself. This is a great question. I have a great question.
Puggers in the chat for my amazing question. Thank you so much. Okay. Marcus, sometimes this podcast is for fun and about entertaining people, but sometimes it's about vanity, okay? Sometimes I need a lift in my world. I do a lot of things. You know how many acting things I posted just today? You know how many times I've sent my picture and a video of me to random strangers just today? 30 times, 40 times, and that's every single day. Sometimes, just let me have it.
Sometimes, I get it. So what makes About Time a good movie?
Yeah.
I feel like it boils down to investment. How invested am I in both the characters and the film? There's also chemistry aspect of it. There is the acting quality, the storytelling, but it's really about all of the things that are going to make me feel like I am invested in their love story.
I agree. Because that's what the whole linchpin of a whole one of these movies is. And to be fair, this movie does, I do buy that Hilary Swank and Gerard Butler, the characters of fucking Holly and fucking
Jerry,
Jimmy Fitzpatrick, like what the fuck's his name?
What's his name?
Jerry?
Jerry?
It was Jerry.
Gerard Butler, Jerry, and it was with the G, so they didn't even change it.
Well, it was based on a book. I don't think that's why you got the
casting. That's how they casted him. They're like, we need to find someone with the same name.
Oh, thank you. I do look handsome and successful. Thanks, Brian414, our biggest fan in the chat, shouting me out. You know what?
Distracted Nick with compliments. Please stop. He was gonna make a point.
I think my point was just it's weird. You know what? I described as I watched this for. Okay, so my history with this film is I've loved rom-coms and I did watch it 15 years ago when it fucking came out. Didn't remember a goddamn thing. Honestly, the one thing I remembered wasn't true. We got to the end of this film, and the thing that I thought didn't happen, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
I was just wrong.
Yeah.
So I barely remembered anything. As I finished watching this film a couple days ago, I turned to Lexi, my girlfriend, and I said, it's her favorite film,
Okay.
her number one film. I said, okay, so 1/3 of this movie, loved it, very good, great rom-com, great story. 1/3 of it, I see what they were going for. I think they missed the mark. I have a couple editing notes. I have some writing notes. I'm not sure why they made some of these choices, but whatever. And then the last third, trash. Hot garbage, trash. It was awful. It made no sense. It was the worst movie I've ever seen, 1/3. So that is where I am with that movie.
What was the 1/3 that you liked?
Well, I mean, we'll talk about
beginning,
all of it,
middle, or end. Like beginning, middle, or end.
No. It was all spread out. It was all spread out.
Oh, just like cumulatively, 1/3 of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I cut it up in my head. I think there's just some scenes of romance that I'm like, I buy that. There's some scenes of letters where I'm like, I buy that. There's some scenes where it's like, I don't know what the grief in this movie is like. I've never experienced this.
Yeah.
Right? I've lost lovers. I've broken up with exes of the past, but I've never lost someone because of circumstance like this. And the movie did do a good job at some points a little bit with the grief,
Yeah.
But then, man, that third that's hot garbage is fucking such hot garbage. I don't even.
So I mean, it's for the sake of the podcast, I feel like we should get into the habit of briefly explaining the plot of the movie, because I've realized there was a couple times that we just didn't do that.
You know what? You know what's funny about that? I need people guys, tweet us at NowTryThisCast and tell me your opinion, because I don't know the fucking answer, because I've heard podcasts say you don't fucking do that because they know the fucking movie. I've heard podcasts go step by step every single part of the movie. I don't know the fucking answer.
I think
what's this movie about?
A brief synopsis I think is good, because even if I've seen the movie, it's like I don't mind a one sentence synopsis. You know what I mean? But if I haven't seen the movie and I'm here because I like the people, then I definitely want that synopsis.
Oh yeah. You want me to just read the Rotten Tomatoes, or you?
No. Nick, the reason that we're giving a synopsis is because we are gonna add our own flair to it, and that's why we should get into the habit of doing synopsis.
Can I suggest something that's really, really dumb?
No, yeah, go ahead. Yes, and
can we go back and forth? You start.
Okay. So this movie is about a man who dies. Your turn.
And leaves behind a grieving wife who cannot handle the loss.
And he decides to torture her and extend her grief by
making her do uncomfortable situations and going to unreasonable places across the world, breaking their bank account, which was the only problem in their relationship in the first place. and
I guess I don't know, and ruining her entire life along the way and getting other people involved,
while also having someone fall in love with the woman that we're supposed to be grieving with as a romantic interest, while also
I'm done. That was we got the movie. I didn't know there was anything else.
There's so much more. Marcus, this movie starts off. So in the first 10 minutes, I think are super interesting. This movie starts off super interesting because we know what this movie's about, right? P.S. I love you. A lot of people know. The fucking husband
dies, leaves letters to his wife, and that's the extent of what I know.
That's what we know. Yeah. Same. The movie starts off, the first 15 minutes is so weird. It feels like an indie movie, or it feels like a fucking, I don't know what it feels like, but it was just Jerry and Holly coming home from a night out, going home, arguing, just being husband and wife for 15 minutes. What did you think as this was happening?
Yeah, I like the intro. Because it starts off, the whole thing takes place in New York. Well, not the whole thing, but it starts off in New York City. They live in New York City, and they're getting off the subway. They live in Chinatown or near Chinatown. They go up to their
in a huge apartment.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Can we talk about their huge apartment?
Because they're complaining about the whole time.
They're arguing and they're talking about how much they hate their apartment. And they're like, oh, we're expected to have a kid in this shithole. And it is the nicest apartment I've ever seen. Nick, I've lived in New York City almost my whole fucking life. And I rarely have ever seen an apartment that nice.
That apartment in Chinatown, $4,000, easy.
Yeah, easy.
At least.
That's why they're having money problems.
Yeah.
Because they have a huge ass apartment.
Move to Brooklyn. Move
anywhere. Move to another state.
You can get that same apartment for $1,500 less.
Nothing about the relationship needed to be in New York City. Like, that also upset me. Because they're complaining about money. They're complaining about stuff. He doesn't seem to really have like a successful, stable job it needs him to be in New York City. She's going from job to job. She doesn't know what the fuck she wants to do. So nothing there meant they had to stay there. Oh, God.
People who have never lived in New York City would shit themselves if they ever saw how New Yorkers actually live. Rand forward, that is very true.
100%.
I think that being said, like, I agree with you 100%, but these are just like nitpicky things of us, you being a New Yorker, me having lived here a long time.
Yeah, but we need to let the audience know, because not everyone lives in New York City. Okay,
you're
they need to know the truth.
Guys,
they're going to watch this movie, and we need to point it out.
But besides that, honestly, Gerard Butler, he was charming. Hilary Swank, she's lovable. Like, I liked their arguing. I thought it was cute. I thought it was pretty real. I thought the dialogue was good. You know, I thought it was a little slow, but I was here for it, right? Like, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. They're gonna slowly introduce them. We're gonna like fall in love with these characters over a good amount of time, and then the death happens and blah, 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 right?
And blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Wrong. That's not what happens. That's not what happens. This argument happens. They go to bed, and then cut to no in between. Nope. So much time has passed. Next year. Next month.
He's just dead. Cut to his fucking funeral.
Cut to his funeral
service.
Not him dying. Immediately. The funeral service. Immediately the funeral.
I thought we were gonna get more time with him, but we didn't. His ass is just dead. Immediately.
I had such whiplash. It was fucking crazy.
And then
this?
Everyone's at the fucking thing, right? They're at the funeral. They're at the ceremony that's at the bar. It's not really a funeral, I guess, because he was cremated. So they're kind of just whatever.
Awake.
They have the box there.
Yeah.
And then immediately she gets flirted with by the guy at the bar.
Marcus, I have so much to say about this. Okay, so Harry Connick Jr. plays Daniel is his name, right?
Wait, that's Harry Connick Jr.
Daniel. So here we are, fucking have whiplash from this going to this funeral. Our main character, who they made us like really like, honestly, they made Gerard Butler like super charming. We're like on his side, and immediately gets hit on by an asshole of a bartender. And Marcus, this isn't a one-off character. Marcus, this isn't a old friend. Marcus, this isn't anybody of import. It's a random guy that her mother has employed at the bar.
Yep.
Hits on her. Marcus, I have a very important question for you, because honestly, I was arguing with Lexi about this.
Yeah. Are you
100%.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, Daniel is, and I'm stating this as a fact. I know it's an opinion, but I'm saying it as a fact because of how strong I believe it. Daniel is on the spectrum.
Yes, I said the same thing.
Is this movie saying he's in the spectrum, or are they being rude and giving him traits that someone on the spectrum would have without him being on the spectrum, which is very problematic?
He said he has something that he's on medication for, and they never said, but the whole movie, I was like, Darren, is he on the spectrum? Because he's just wild. He's saying things that are crazy, and like, no one would ever say, not because he's like edgy or anything like that.
No,
not
edgy.
It's not that he doesn't have a filter or whatever. He's just like, what is wrong with you? Something seemed like mentally wrong, and I feel like he was accurately portraying that.
Lexi said in the chat what she was saying during the movie, and she said, no, the movie just makes him an asshole without a filter. No, that's not what an asshole without a filter is.
Yeah, there was something weird about it that was just like off, and it just made you feel like this man is crazy and unhinged.
Which I want to say, if that is the point, then fine, great. Yeah. But like, if you address it, then it's interesting, right? And then it's like, oh, you're showing that the world is filled with all different shapes and sizes and personalities and different colors of the world all coming together, right? That's interesting. Like, I would have been like, okay with that. The way that everything happened about him fucking loving her, and I mean, we'll talk about it forever, because this is the worst part of the movie. But imagine all that being colored with the fact that he has Asperger's, or he's on the spectrum, or he learns and thinks differently than you and I, which is why he is the way he is.
Yeah, sure. Literally give us anything. Instead, they give us a vague, like, he's on medication for something, but we don't know what.
And say it like a joke.
Why. Yeah, they say it kind of like it's just a throwaway line almost. And then he's just the rest of the movie, this strange character that's in it for like, he's the whole movie. He's also
a third of the movie.
Kind of a love interest. And it's like, what the fuck?
Kind of.
I hate this guy so much.
I hated him. I hated him so much. I hated everything about him.
He was easily the worst part of the whole movie.
100%. Here's why I hated him, right? Let's just get the Daniel all out of the way, because this is gonna, because I don't want to fucking talk about Daniel forever. So throughout the movie, Daniel is being Holly's friend.
Yeah.
This incel motherfucker is just fucking friend zoning his own ass and then complaining about the fact that he's been friend zoned.
Can we talk about how much of an incel this guy is?
This guy owns a closet full of fedoras and swords, okay?
This is the biggest fucking incel I've seen in a rom-com in ever. He is talking about how, like, oh, you just don't like men. I'm tired of women who don't like men. Like, what the fuck? Are you crazy?
Gross.
That's so
and here's the thing about the movie. I don't understand how the movie wants me to feel about him, because halfway through the movie, right? We finally gotten the conceit of the movie with the letters, and we're grieving and we're feeling about Jerry, and we're like missing Jerry, and we're feeling with Holly, and Holly's all sad, and Holly gets a trip to Ireland. It cuts to Daniel in moving some boxes, and he pulls out 2 Yankee tickets and he rips them up because he's so disappointed that he can't take the girl he likes to a baseball game whilst her husband died 3 to 4 months ago.
Yep.
Lexi kept arguing with me about the timeline of this movie, and then I would point out the fallacy and say, no, baby, it was a month. And she's like, oh, I guess so.
Yeah, at one point, there was another moment where this whole movie is full of people not letting her fucking breathe for like 2 seconds. Oh my God. Including her dead husband. Doesn't give her any fucking space to fucking breathe for 2 seconds and let her experience the death of the fucking guy. Like, it is wild. Because 3 weeks later, on the screen, they show 3 weeks later, and then all of her friends are like, they come over and they're like, ugh, I can't believe you're living like this. Your apartment's so gross.
You know what's crazy about that scene?
Just died.
You know what's crazy about that scene? A month had gone by, and her support system is so awful. Marcus, if my wife died and you let a month go by until you visited me and then you came to see the shambles my life is in, you should feel like shit, because that's your fault, because that's your job. You are supposed to make sure I eat, that I bathe, that I clean for at least a couple weeks. Right?
I mean, at least
the love of my lifetime.
At least a couple weeks. Share duties with your other friends.
Yes. You take turns. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But they haven't seen hide nor hair of Holly for a month, and they're like, Holly, I think it's really tough. You haven't been there.
At the very least, I wouldn't go to your apartment after a month and criticize how you're living.
Crazy.
God, man. It was just wild. This movie is crazy.
This is the third. This is the third that drove me crazy. The timeline, the Daniel of it all, and her shitty support system.
That's more than a third, my guy. That is much more than a third of the film.
I know. I think it's a third. I think it's a third. I think there are problematic things in it that are also like not great. But I think the bad, like that bad of stuff, is like a third of them. That's what I think. That's the way I parcel it in my head, anyway.
Okay. What do you think of Hilary Swank as like a romantic lead?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I liked Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank, and I went into this movie expecting to hate a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
But most of all, I was expecting to hate Hilary Swank and Gerard Butler as the leads of this romantic comedy. Because what does it say? Like, if I go to Rotten Tomatoes right now, literally the first thing says, the critics' consensus is Hilary Swank is miscast as the romantic lead in this cliched film about lost in love. I don't think any bad parts of this movie were because of what Gerard Butler and what Hilary Swank were doing. For me, I bought them together For me, I bought the grief. For me, I bought their love. The scene, the couple scenes they had together, even when it was like that faux, not really their scenes.
Yeah.
I bought those.
Okay.
But what did you think of Hilary Swank?
I think you're right. I don't think that they did anything inherently wrong. I don't think it was like the bad acting on their part.
Yeah.
I think from a looks perspective, I don't think I picture either one of them in a romantic movie because I don't know why that is necessarily. But
probably because you grew up watching Hilary Swank do karate and Gerard Butler kicking Spartans.
That's fair. If they were fighting each other, I'd watch that movie.
I watched the shit out of that movie.
But I don't know. It's just something about it. It was like, these guys look kind of like regular people. There was nothing. I'm used to rom-coms, and it's not my fault. It's not what I want to see in rom-coms. It's just the way society has made rom-coms. I'm not used to seeing regular, average-looking people. And I'm not, I mean, I might get a lot of flack for saying Hilary Swank and Gerard Butler are average looking, but
I feel like Gerard Butler, you will.
They look more normal in this movie than most people in rom-coms
Gerard Butler
do.
is on like so many people's 5. Like they're all past 5.
He's hot now.
Sure.
I think as he got older with facial hair, I feel like his 300 workout, like I feel like he is hot now. But in this movie with his weird colored hair and his goofiness, like I was not into any of it.
-9442 said, I feel like a lot of that was on purpose, that they were ordinary people who were married and fought a lot and had problems.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I think
so. I mean, well, what I'm saying is that it's not a negative thing. It's just like an interesting thing that I saw. You know, I liked that was the case. Rarely in rom-coms do you see regular people falling in love. And this felt like we finally got to see that. And
I mean, about time,
too.
Domino Gleeson is one reason we liked it, right? Because Domino Gleeson's a normal looking guy.
Yeah. But all their friends too. All their friends are like pretty normal looking. I mean, they had Phoebe in there, and also and Spike. Oh yeah, Spike. Or more, as he's more famously known for his role in as Piccolo in the Dragon Ball
Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolutions. No, I think I bought all that. Now, Marcus, what did you think of what did you think of the fucking conceit of the fucking movie? Like, we haven't talked about that yet. We talked about it a little. You talked about how fucking awful it is that he.
That's what I feel about the movie. That's how I feel about the conceit.
Well, I want to talk about that. So the conceit of the movie is Gerard Butler died, but before he died, he had a tape recorder and a bunch of letters. Now, I didn't know this because the movie does a bad job, but in the book, he leaves her like a letter a month for a year or something.
Okay, that makes sense.
In the movie, I think it does a really bad job, and it's like really jumpy. And like in my head, he only sent like 4 letters.
Yeah,
and 2 of them were like long and nice, and 2 of them were like short and said "buy a lamp" and that's it. It was like "buy a lamp, P.S. I love you" was one of the letters, right? Like it was super short.
Yeah,
it was weird. But anyway, what do you think about this? The letters of it all.
I thought in the beginning of the movie that this whole letter thing was manipulative and it's not giving her the space to grow and move on as a person. It feels like he's trying to hold on to her after he's dead, which it just feels like the most disgusting kind of like control and like manipulation. Be like, even in my death, huh?
So go ahead.
Even in my death, I'm going to control your whole life. Just because I'm going to tell you what to do, I'm going to get everyone around you to do shit for me. I don't know. And just like constantly be a pervasive influence in your life. It just felt gross. And then towards the end of the movie, I was like, I like it. I would never do it. And if someone was telling me that their husband did it, I would have questions. But it worked.
Those last couple letters were nice.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about them as we get to the end of the movie. But I think I agree with you. I think that was my impression going in. Here's my problem with the letters. I think, and I feel like maybe it's different in the book, right? This is based on a really good book, apparently, and the book does a better job with all the shit. But I think the letters, I think they could have, I don't know. I feel like I wanted more from them. The letters told her to buy a fucking lamp. Gerard, why didn't you buy her a fucking lamp when you lived together? I feel like I should have, that last letter was, I feel like I wish I had gotten that in like 2 other letters along the way. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Like a big part of rom-coms are that big monologue, that big like epic moment. We know them all by heart a little bit. I mean, maybe I know more than you. Marcus, do you think you know?
There's always big moments. Yeah,
do you think you know like a lot
Ryan
of those
Gosling
moments from
on a fucking Ferris wheel. And
John Cusack on a fucking lawnmower thing, right?
Yes. Is this a
Well, Marcus, I hope you're prepared because that's what we're going to be finding on today's game. Roll the clip.
Now try this trivia. Now try this trivia. Now trivia. Now trivia. Now trivia this.
Hey, and we're back.
Marcus, our game today is brought to you by Alexandria, the giver, the patron of this episode. It is called P.S. I Love You. Do you love me too? Now, we will be playing this game together.
Yay! Let's go.
She has given us 9 famous monologues, letters, dialogue things from one of the protagonists of a rom-com, and we have to guess what rom-com it's from. Now, we don't have clips, so we're going to have to act out these monologues.
Got it.
Going through. I will start.
Okay.
I will do the first one. This is number 1, and I don't know these answers either.
Wait, Nick, sorry.
Do I have it?
Quickly explain the game again? You cut out. What was it? Everyone say great
idea. Oh.
I am the one who missed it.
We're going to go one by one and read these monologues from famous rom-coms and guess what rom-com they're from.
Okay, got it.
Okay, I'll go first. The first one is here's the question. How dramatic should I be with this? Should I put it on? Should I turn it up? Should I make the ladies wet for my delivery here?
I mean, turn it up, put it down.
Okay.
Do whatever pleases you, buddy. If you wanna ham it up, you know?
Here's number 1. I come here with the view of asking you to marry me. I know it seems insane because I hardly know you, but sometimes things are so transparent they don't need evidential proof. I will inhabit here, or you can inhabit with me in England. I don't expect you to be as foolish as me, and of course I predict you to say no, but it's Christmas, and I just wanted to check.
It's always Christmas. My turn? My go? Or that
we have to guess what it is.
Oh, okay. So it's Christmas.
I think I know what it is. I will let you talk through it, though.
Is it Love Actually?
I think it's Love Actually. I've come here with a view of... Oh, you know why it sounds weird? As I was reading, I was like, why does it sound weird? Why does it sound like a person doesn't know English? No. If you remember the climactic scene in Love Actually where Colin Firth runs into the bar of the lady that used to clean his house, and he learned Portuguese for her. Yeah. And he's speaking in a broken Portuguese accent. Yeah. I come here with a view of asking you to marry me. I think that's what it is.
I think so too.
Love Actually. Let me see.
Good. My instinct was Love Actually, and you're saying Love Actually, and you're the Love Actually aficionado.
We got a point, Marcus. It is Love Actually. Jamie proposes to Ariella.
Let's go. Tricky.
I don't know if anyone in the chat knows this, but I watch Love Actually every Christmas, every year.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite films.
Very sad.
Just kidding. Well, considering I haven't had anyone to watch it for years, yeah, it's a little sad.
Oh, sure. Our true fans knew that. Our true fans knew that fact. They've been around long enough.
Betty 007. What a gem. What a mensch.
Okay.
All right, Marcus. I just Facebooked you the second one.
I got it. Okay. The fame thing isn't really real, you know? Don't forget, I'm also just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her.
Marcus, I love you.
Yes.
I love you.
Yes,
I love you so much.
Thank you.
Marcus, marry me.
Yeah. Let's go, buddy. Let's go right now.
All right. Do you have any ideas of where this line is from?
One of the most famous lines of any rom-com.
It is? Have you seen it?
No.
Question?
And I know this line. I don't know where it's from. I know
not any idea.
Is it? It's not from The Notebook, right?
No.
Then I don't know. Is it Rachel McAdams who says it though?
Who else is a big proprietor of rom-coms that might say something like this? Whose whole shtick is being a normal girl but is lovable. That one that from Runaway Bride. Julia Stiles. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts. There you go. Julia Roberts. And what are some of her famous movies besides Runaway Bride? Arguably like a C tier of one of her films. My favorite. Miss Congeniality. That's Sandra Bullock. They're the same person. I'm convinced they're the same person. I think this is. I know it's not. This is Notting Hill with Hugh Grant.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Ooh, what if every single one of these answers has Hugh Grant in it? Because he was also in Love Actually.
That'd be pretty good.
Yes, Notting Hill.
Woo!
Notting Hill is
we
correct.
got it.
Julia Roberts.
Notting
too.
Hill.
Fun fact about that movie, Marcus, when you get it someday, he says the same line to her later to win her. Do you know the premise of that movie?
No. Does
Marcus
it
is
involve
wild.
a hill?
Yeah, there's a place.
Nice.
He's fucking dumbass.
Nice.
There's a
Nice,
place called
nice,
Notting Hill.
nice.
Julia Roberts is a famous movie star, and Hugh Grant is a man who just owns a little bookstore, and he randomly runs into this movie star one day, and they hit it off, and that's the whole movie.
Sounds
That's the whole movie.
like a grand time.
Honestly, it's really fucking great. Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Okay. How should I read this? Should I read it intense, somber? Like, give me an emotion. Give me a.
Oh my god,
give
this
me-
one's
direct
so
me, direct
long
me.
that you sent me. Jesus Christ.
Give me a direction. Give me a direction
Okay,
for this third.
okay. I want you. Okay, here's what's happening, right? We're gonna put you into one of the greatest worlds of fantasy ever invented. You are in Lord of the Rings, okay? You have a quiet moment alone with your hobbit friend. You are Frodo, and you must profess your love for Sam. You just dropped the ring off. You're good. You guys are together again. You're reunited, and you say,
I've been doing a lot of thinking, and the thing is, I love you. I love how you get cold when it's 71 degrees out. I love that it takes you an hour and a half to order a sandwich. I love how you get a little crinkle around your nose when you're looking at me like I'm nuts. I love that after I spend a day with you, I can still smell your perfume on my clothes. And I love that you are the last person I want to talk to before I go to sleep at night. And it's not because I'm lonely, and it's not because it's New Year's Eve. I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
nice. Beautiful. Chills.
Thank you.
I want to see Frodo and Sam just going back and forth reading cliched like rom-com lines to each other, but
That sounds like
change it so it fits in Lord of the Rings.
This sounds like it would get 1 million views tomorrow on YouTube.
Yeah, 100%.
Marcus.
Yep.
Once again, I think I know where this is from. Do you have any idea?
Okay, something about waking up next to you every day. They said P.S. That sounds like they said something like that in P.S. I love you.
It's not P.S. I love you.
It's not P.S. I love you.
I've been doing a lot of
What's the
I've been
quote
doing
that I should
I've been
know?
doing a lot of thinking, and the thing is, I love you. So that means he hasn't said I love you the whole film.
No.
Okay. So it's a friend situation, right? It's one of the friend into lover situations. Think about that. He's thinking about mundane things. Order a sandwich. What kind of movie has a famous scene where they order a sandwich? That's actually
a
really
famous
important
scene
thing.
where they famous. I've never.
Yes.
Nick, in my film watching, I cannot recall a famous scene in which someone has ordered a sandwich.
Not that ordering is famous, where it takes place. The diner.
I
the diner
would
where
like
the
a
order.
sub with extra pickles and cheese.
Dash 9442 said Marcus, like the most famous scene ever filmed. Here's the
Was
thing,
it
Marcus. I'm pretty
lobster
sure I can
at the
give-
end when they're like talking about going like gouging their eyes out?
Marcus, I will tell you who says this, and I still don't think you'll get it. Do you want to know?
Tell me who says it.
Billy Crystal.
Oh, is this? I don't know. Is this You've Got? It's not You've Got Mail. That's Tom Hanks. But is the love interest Meg Ryan? It's that movie where he's the friend. I know this one. He's the friend, and they're like at a restaurant.
The whole movie. Yep.
And then at the end, it's like, "Oh, I love you." And
this is the speech.
It's not
This
Sleepless
is the
in
speech.
Seattle either.
Nope. That's also Tom Hanks.
Oh God! But it's like that. It's around the same time, right? I just
The
don't see
answer
Billy
to
Crystal
this-
as a love interest.
You would if you saw this movie, because honestly, great film. Marcus, I think you'd like it. I'll probably give
What
it to
is
you
it?
someday. It's When Harry Met Sally.
I fucking God damn it! I knew it was one of the big ones.
Okay. Well, Marcus, don't worry. We are getting these points together, so we are 4 for 4 or 3 for 3. Don't worry, Marcus. You will be reading number 4. Marcus,
This is so long.
I need you to read this one as if you're on the run. They're after you. They know where you are. This is the last speech you can say before Darth Vader and the Sith are going to break into the room that you are. This is the last chance to speak to Han Solo. This is your last chance.
Okay.
Marcus, whenever you're ready.
Okay. We could have had a good life together. Fucking real good life. Had a place of our own, but you didn't want it. So this is all we got now. Everything's built on that. But all we got, boy, fucking all. So I hope you know what. If you don't never know the rest, you could the damn few times that we have been together in nearly 20 years, and you measure the short fucking leash you keep me on, and you ask me about Mexico or Hoth, and you tell me you'll kill me for needing something I don't hardly ever get. You have no idea how bad it gets, and I'm not you. I can't make it on a couple of high altitude fucks once or twice a year on the Millennium Falcon. You're too much for me. I wish I knew how to quit you.
Marcus, this is the first one that didn't come to me instantly. I'm not sure what this is. Mexico.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Did she do that?
No, that's not a romance movie.
I got a hint.
They high altitude fucks. It could be Star Wars.
It sounds like Star Wars.
It sounds like Star Wars.
That was a great give by me. It sounded like Star Wars.
That was good.
High altitude. Oh, is this like Top Gun?
Top Gun's not. Are these all rom-coms, right?
Yeah, Top Gun's not a rom-com.
Okay.
R-rated rom-com against the fatty 007. So apparently everyone knows what it is except us. Okay, we can.
We are geniuses.
We can have a good life together. Fucking real good life. I had a place of our own, but you didn't want it.
Mexico.
I wish I knew how to quit you. That line.
I wish I knew how to
familiar.
quit you is like the fucking
The line.
God, I have no idea. I wish I knew how to quit you.
You could. The damn few times that we have been together in nearly 20 years.
So they've been together for a long time. They fuck in. No, he fucks in the air. Oh, they fuck. They only meet in the air fucking. So once or twice a year they get together and they have sex in the air. I think you're going down the wrong path here, Marcus. I think you're falling down a rabbit hole. I can't make it on a couple of high altitude fucks once or twice a year. Oh, you know what it is? It's that movie Crank. Remember where he needed like to keep his heart rate up the whole movie? I love that Jason
Statham. That's a fucking great movie. Great movie. He's just fucking people all that whole goddamn movie.
Is it Pan Am? What do they? Do we get a lifeline? Can we ask the chat? Because everyone in the chat knows apparently.
She's a flight attendant? What? No, she's not. Who is this? Oh, is this? No. I was going to say, is it that movie with Orlando Bloom and Kirsten Dunst because she's in an airplane?
Oh, maybe. Okay, apparently the chat doesn't know. I was wrong. I can't quit you? Was that the line? That's a famous line!
I'm going to say Pleasantville with Orlando Bloom and Kirsten Dunst because of the high altitude thing.
Yeah.
Because she's a stewardess, but I've never seen that film, so I don't know if it's from that. But I don't know.
My whole lighting setup.
But in that movie, he's going home to like take care of like the death of his father or something. I don't think that takes place in Mexico. Mexico. Oh, Rian41 said, "Oh shit, it's not a rom-com, it's Top Gun." It kind of sounded like Top Gun.
Oh, it says not rom-com really.
Oh, well, then
Airplane.
Top Gun, right? Is that our
Top Gun?
Yes.
Let's guess Top Gun. That's the only air movie that I know. Our high altitude fucks.
We're so dumb. We should know what this is. I've never actually seen it.
What was it?
It's Brokeback Mountain. I wish I knew how to quit you.
I can't quit you. I can't quit. Man.
You knew that? I've never seen it.
I knew it. It was in our bones. Yeah. All the parodies, everything.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah. That's why we know it so well. It's parodied so often.
Yeah, that's why. It's like fucking Star Wars, which is also a good one. Okay, are you ready?
Oh, yeah, what's my emotion for this?
You have, let's see.
Rian414 said, I haven't seen one of these movies. You and Marcus both.
100%. Okay, let's see. You are hiding under the floorboards from the Nazis with your companion who's also escaped. Oh no.
I'll have to say this quick, or I'm gonna have this massive coronary, then you'll never hear it and you have to. This is by far the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life. So dumb, in fact, that I can't, but I love you. I've loved you for 9 years. I've just been too arrogant and scared to realize it, and well, now I'm just scared. So I realize this comes at a very inopportune time, but I really have this gigantic favor to ask of you. Choose me. Marry me. Let me make you happy. Oh, that sounds like 3 favors, doesn't it?
That's very good. Also, a good situation to do it in. It makes sense.
I know, you killed it.
It worked really well.
9 years. I've loved you for 9 years.
I loved you for 9 years.
9 years. Choose me. Marry me. That sounds familiar. Choose me. Marry me. Oh, thank you, Fatty 007. That was a perfect performance. I don't know how to acknowledge the chat without saying it again.
He says, I think the Nazis heard you, though.
No!
They definitely did. They definitely did.
Choose me. Marry me.
It's from a movie, right? Okay, choose me, marry me.
Yes, that's the premise of this.
I just want to make sure. I don't know. I saw Grey's Anatomy in the chat. And I was like, wait, no. Hopefully, it's not Grey's Anatomy. Okay.
Marry me. Oh, that sounds like Grey's Anatomy.
Choose me.
Choose.
Okay, so
I am thinking. You're right. You're right. They also say that in Grey's Anatomy. That is what I'm thinking. You ran forward for. Yeah. Pick me. Love me. That's what. Yes. That is what I'm thinking.
Oh, wow. Okay,
wow,
good. So we can get you off of that track and get you onto a new one.
I have to say this quick, or I'm gonna have this. I don't know if I've seen this movie. This is by far the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. So dumb, in fact, that I love you. I've loved you for 9 years.
Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds.
That's not a bad guess.
Marry me.
I've never seen that.
Okay, marry me. So they're saying that, like, hey, you should. The person might be getting married already. Is it from Runaway Bride?
No.
Is it from?
But it's something like that, right?
Something like that. Someone walks into the room and they're like, "Hey, this is dumb, but marry me instead and choose me."
This is totally a wedding thing. This is totally like before. Loved you for 9 years. So I realize this comes at a very inopportune time. Oh, is this My Best Friend's Wedding with Julia Roberts?
It could be.
Cameron Diaz? I think I'm going to guess My Best Friend's Wedding, if you'll go with me. In that film, Julia Roberts, her best friend, gets married.
Okay.
And then she only, after he says, I'm getting married, says, oh, I love him. I need to go stop it.
I will say.
Honestly, she's kind of a trash person. It's that movie where her best friend goes, say a little prayer for you forever and ever. It's that movie.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that. You cool with that?
Yep. -94242 also says that in the chat.
Oh, okay.
So
My Best Friend's Wedding. Yes.
Oh,
Julia
nice.
Roberts.
Good job.
No, Julia Roberts. Nice.
It's funny because I know you didn't get that from the chat. She said it. She did say it before you, but I know you didn't get that from the chat because you have to look down at your phone to look at the chat. So I know when you've looked.
All right, Marcus, your next one. I want this one to be read as if you are being eaten by snakes.
Eaten by snakes? Okay. I wrote you 365 letters. I wrote you every day for a year. I wish it wasn't over for me. It still isn't over.
Marcus, so good. Marcus, you should know this one right away, buddy. What's this one?
Is it P.S. I
What
love
is it?
you?
No. Gerard Butler's lazy ass only wrote her like 4 letters.
Let's see. Okay, I gotta go back. I wasn't paying attention to what I was reading. I wrote you 365 letters. I wrote you every day for a year. It wasn't over for me. It still isn't over. You've got mail. Sleepless.
Don't just guess and think about it. You know this. You know this. You know this movie. Say it
About
again.
time.
Here, let me read it to you in the way he says it.
Okay.
I wrote you 365 letters. I wrote you every day for a year. It wasn't over for me. It still isn't over.
That's aggressive.
That's how he says it in the movie.
Wasn't over for me.
It's
The
raining.
Notebook?
Thank you, -142. It's raining. Yes, The Notebook. Remember?
Oh, I don't remember
She's all
that.
mad, like, you didn't write me. And remember, he wrote her every day, and her mother put the letters away.
Oh, I forgot.
And that's
that
why she
whole
gave
thing.
up.
I
Yeah.
forgot.
And then he says, "Still isn't over," and he picks her up, and they start making out. And kissing.
Wasn't
It's that
important.
big-
Wasn't an important part of the movie.
Okay, it's like you're trying to piss me off. Yeah, The Notebook. Okay, great. All right, give me something. I'm ready for number 7.
Okay, I want to set this in another place. You are in. I just like setting it into movie locations. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you build the world.
Yeah, no,
You know where you're
felt
going?
it. Yeah, give me there.
Okay. You are Rocky. No, wait, no. You are Drago. You've lost the match against Rocky, but your love from Russia is in the crowd, and she goes to comfort you after your loss. And you say this to her.
I'm in love with you. Wait, hold on. What's Russian accent? But I'm in love with you. And I know that love is just a shout into the void, and that oblivion is inevitable. And that we're all doomed, and that it will come. Oh, my eyes bleeding. A day will come, a day when all our labors have been returned to dust, and I know the sun will swallow the only earth we'll ever have, and I am in love with you.
Nice. That was good.
My face
That
is
was really
wet.
good. Beautiful. Dash 9442 says this whole episode is your new accent reel.
Thank you so much. That was the worst Russian accent you could possibly do.
Okay, I missed all of that.
But I got the gravitas.
Hit me with the line I should remember.
I'm in love with you, and I know that love is just a shout into the void.
Okay.
And that oblivion is inevitable. The coming day, our labor has returned to dust. So it's almost like Shakespearean, or like the words are like
Very dramatic.
And I know the sun will swallow the only earth we'll ever have. I am in love with you. So he's talking about inevitables of the world. He's saying the inevitables are that we're all doomed, we're all turned to dust, the sun will swallow the earth, and I love you. Those are the absolutes of the world. That's a really fucking good guess. But I don't think Bruce Willis would say that.
No. Bruce Willis didn't say it. Ben Affleck says it to Liv Tyler. No, I don't know this one. Oh, Stephen Hawking. What was that movie? Code? No.
Thought. Theory of Everything.
The Theory of Everything.
Not a bad guess.
Not a bad guess. Okay.
Love is just a shout into the void, and that oblivion is inevitable. Oh, she's really digging deep. I don't know.
It does sound like an edgelord.
Sounds familiar.
Though. Is this from the Joker? I don't.
Wouldn't call that a rom-com. Dash 942 said. Lexi just said we've done it on the podcast.
Okay, what have we done on the podcast? It's about time. It's not about time, is it?
Is it? I know the.
I mean, that has to do with time travel. So maybe
it sounds like but it doesn't sound like something Donald Gleason would say. Is it? Because he's always so like.
It kind of does sound like him. He's kind of a bit of an edgelord.
I'm okay with that guess.
What other ones have we done? You have a better memory of what we've done on the podcast. 94112
said this is not a rom-com. This About Time is quintessentially a rom-com. I'm in love with you. Oblivion is inevitable. Swallows the earth. What have we done on the podcast? I'm gonna look at everything we've done.
Also, probably not rom-com, but a romance movie. We're going online now to try to look for what we've done in the past. Anyone with better knowledge of our episodes, feel free to let us know.
Oh, is it 5 Feet Apart?
Oh, that little emo bitch. Yeah. Jughead,
That's my guess.
100%.
That's my guess. Should we guess that?
Or is it Fault in Our Stars?
It's Fallen Our Stars.
Is it Fault in Our Stars?
Yeah, it's Fallen Our Stars. Let me look.
Okay.
Yes, Fallen Stars.
Oh yeah, we got it. Yeah, baby. Oh man.
As soon as you said Fallen Our Stars, I was like, yep. Yep. Fucking the boy in there has like a death complex, and he's just always like,
everything's gonna burn up, and we're all gonna die. Yeah.
To be fair, he's a 16-year-old with cancer, so like he's allowed. 100%. You know?
Yeah. I get that. You saying 5 Feet Apart reminded me of edgelord teens, and I was like, oh, maybe Fault in Our Stars.
It's more sincere in Fault in Our Stars, if I'm being honest. I don't know why. All right, number 8 is All You, Baby.
Okay. Hold on. I need to get some. I closed the window.
Yeah, this is your last one.
Tell me how you want to do it while I open the window.
Oh, let's see. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I'm thinking it's hot. I'm thinking it's the desert. I'm thinking that you are dying. No. Hold on.
Dig deep into your knowledge of the world of movies and film and romance and passion.
Marcus,
yeah,
I want to give you a fighting chance for this one. I want it to be really great. Hold on.
Are you reading it?
Yeah, because I was about to give you something and I didn't want it to be the thing. Because I was about to give you the thing that it might have been the thing. I want you to do... Gosh, man, I'm coming up blank. Okay. You are King Arthur. You just pulled the sword from the stone, and your lady friend is standing there looking at you in awe as you hold Excalibur.
Okay, got it. Just gonna do some mime work. You ready?
Yeah.
I have pulled Excalibur from its sheath. I hate the way you talk to me. And the way that you cut your hair. I hate the way you drive my car. I hate it when you stare. I hate your big dumb combat boots and the way you read my mind. I hate you so much. It makes me sick. It even makes me rhyme. I hate it. I hate the way you're always right. I hate it when you lie. I hate it when you make me laugh. even worse, when you make me cry. I hate it when you're not around, and the fact that you didn't call. But mostly, I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
Wow.
Thank you.
Marcus.
Thank you.
Wow.
I know this one. I know this one immediately.
Oh, so do I, yeah.
It's 10 Things I Hate About You, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
It sure is, yeah.
Yeah.
You seen that one, Marcus?
Yeah, it is It is probably Darren's favorite rom-com. It's one of her favorites, for sure.
Oh, did you watch it because of her?
We watch it every year now. So
had you watched it before, like when it came out?
I think I had seen like bits and pieces of it. I didn't really remember.
It's one of those movies that's on TV a lot.
It was like it must have been on TV or something. And I saw it. Yeah. But yeah, we watched it twice.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Sabrina, the Teenage Witch is in there.
Yeah.
Julia Stiles before she like disappeared from the earth. Okay.
It's a good one. I like it a lot. I don't mind rewatching.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Marcus, this is the last one.
Okay.
The whole whole kit and caboodle.
The whole what?
The whole, I don't know what I was trying to say.
The entire marble.
The whole,
all of the marble. That marble?
The whole thing.
The whole thing. You get the whole thing.
This marble?
All to yourself.
Whole thing. What do I do?
Okay. I want you both. Okay. Godzilla and King Kong, right? They just finished fighting. They gaze into each other's eyes and they just start fucking. Okay? Hardcore, dirty, nasty fucking. Godzilla's blowing his hot breath into King Kong's ass. They're just like going hard, okay? And you are so moved. You are so moved by the love making that you see, because it can only be described as love making, okay? You're so moved that you say this to your partner.
Okay. Do you how does he get... Okay. I don't think you're an idiot at all. I mean, there are elements of the ridiculous about you. Your mother's pretty interesting, and you really are an appallingly bad public speaker, and you tend to let whatever's in your head come out of your mouth without much consideration of the consequences. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say, very inarticulately, in fact, perhaps despite appearances, I like you very much, just as you are.
That could be any movie. That could literally be any movie.
Sounds familiar. I don't think you're an idiot at all. I mean, there's elements of the ridiculous about your mother's... Oh.
So it's about, like, the lead is kind of like maybe a nerdy guy? Because he's like, despite appearances...
I think you're right. If I'm right, I think that we've already gotten this person to read something on the list.
Wait, we've already gotten this person to read something on the list?
No, yeah, like this actor has already done another... Like this actor... did another one of our quotes on this list.
Oh, so is it Hugh Grant?
Yeah. It's not Hugh Grant.
Is it... Who else has been on the list?
Ryan Gosling.
Is it Ryan Gosling?
No, it's not Ryan Gosling.
Is it the guy from Brokeback Mountain?
It is not Jake Gyllenhaal or Heath Ledger. Oh, Heath Ledger was on here.
Was it a man? Okay.
Yes, it's a man. It's a man.
Billy Crystal.
It was not Billy Crystal.
Who else? And that's all the list. This whole thing.
Our first one, Love Actually.
Oh, who said that line in Love Actually?
Colin Firth.
It's Colin Firth. This is
Oscar winning.
She's All That. This is Colin Firth's film, Firthy Earth. The Colin Firth vehicle. It's his first film.
You're so funny. You know what this movie is. It's had sequels. In the latest sequel, she has a baby with McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, Bridget Jones' Diary?
I think so. Let me see. Yes, Bridget Jones' Diary. Nice.
Woo! Why did I'm if the sequels was the only thing that gave me any kind of clue, because there's not many rom-coms with sequels.
That's true. That's true. There's not a lot. She got 3. Wow, Marcus. Wow. I think we did pretty good. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got everything but Brokeback Mountain, which I'm going to blame you. That was your job.
You know what? I'll accept the blame, because I should have I should have known. I should have known.
You should have.
I should have known.
You should have.
I think about that movie often.
You know, that doesn't surprise me. You love cowboys.
I love cowboys, and I want to see them.
You
fuck.
love and you love cowboys.
100%.
So what's not to like? Marcus.
Yes.
Getting back.
Getting back to the movie that
getting back to the film.
talking about.
Yes, I Love You. That I stopped with reading these letters. I do want to talk about that last letter in a little detail because honestly, it was really, really nice. I really liked that moment. As she finally got to Ireland, she spoke to her in-laws, who also got a letter, which is sweet. I mean, I honestly giving your parents a letter, thanking them for like being your parents.
Yeah.
Nice. That seems really
very
nice.
sweet.
That seems real nice. Yeah. She gets her almost final letter, and he goes through about why he loves her and how he has loved her since the day they met, and we get. Honestly, I think one of the best meet cute scenes I've seen. I thought it was really, really good. I really, really liked. What did you think of the the penultimate letter from Jerry?
Penultimate letter was when she was in Ireland, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was really sweet. I think that her going to go see the parents and also him kind of knowing that was going to happen, her keeping that relationship, even though they offered her an out a little bit. They were like, well, you don't have to. But it's really sweet. It was really sweet to keep that relationship because that's another aspect of it. Like if your partner's parents hate you and they die, that's it. You're not talking to them ever again. And it's a way of her keeping in touch. It was really sweet. The whole Ireland section I thought was well done.
Now, here's a question about the Ireland section, Marcus.
Okay.
If your wife dies, and 4 months after that we take a trip to someplace like Ireland, as your friend, would you want me to pressure you into having sex with a stranger after your significant other, love of your life, died 6 months ago? Should I try to make sure you get yours? You get some ass?
I kind of understood this one.
Should I do that? You what? You sided with that?
I kind of understood this one. I kind of get it. I kind of get the friends were just like, hey, we need you to get out. We need you to like go out there and we need you to get out there and have some fun and meet new people. And they didn't tell her to fuck him. They were just like, talk to him.
No, they did. They did.
Okay, whatever. I guess maybe they did. But
the chat said, "Don't ask Marcus. He's a freak."
Whatever, chat. Shut up.
I understand what you're saying, but it did bother me.
I understand the sentiment, like going to talk to him, like trying to get out of it.
That would have been fine. That would have been fine.
I even get why she slept with him. You know, I get why she slept with him because it's like she's hurting. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know who to turn to.
Oh, Marcus.
But the worst part.
I totally agree. But the worst part.
The worst part, though.
Let's set this up. So
if it was okay.
Let's set this up. So the man, they flirt in the bar. He plays her a song. It was one that her husband had played her, so it's too much for her. She leaves.
Yeah.
Because of happenstance, the man shows back up, and her friends are like, "Let's offer him a hot meal."
Yeah.
And then the friends say, let's let him stay so he doesn't have to drive all out of the back. And he says, I could use a shower. Okay, that's not what they offered, homeboy, but you know what?
You know what? Like,
they said it's fine. So
it's Ireland, it's a different place.
It's
different
Ireland,
place, different rules. Fine. Who knows?
After he showers, he walks around naked. Maybe he left the clothes in the room. Maybe he left the clothes in the room.
That was a lot.
For the doubt, once again,
that felt like a move.
Better for the doubt twice. Better for the doubt twice.
Better for the doubt twice.
I'm supposed to believe that homeboy has a best friend that he hasn't seen in 10 years, who just died, who had a wife named Holly, that when I met a woman named Holly that said her husband just died, I sleep with her without making the connection to my best friend.
Nope. That is weird.
Only make the connection after she mentions the in-laws.
It's jarring because it's like, didn't he mention this guy? Didn't anybody talk about anything? Is there no connections? You're in this house that maybe you might recognize also. Like, what the? It was just weird. It definitely felt like...
The character of Billy, Marcus, throughout, in the first 30 minutes of the movie, I was talking a lot. I always talk a lot during movies. I especially talk a lot during a movie that we're doing for the podcast because I'm trying to work it out, what I'm going to say, asking questions, trying to figure it out. Extra talking about it because the timeline in this movie made no sense. Lexi was a fucking trooper. She was listening. But when I asked something, her response was a little annoyed. She didn't do anything wrong. But I didn't want to ruin her favorite movie. So when I sensed that I was being too much, I stopped. I stopped talking. I said, I will stop talking. We got to this part of the movie. I pause it and I say, baby, I can't not talk anymore. She's like, go ahead. And I fucking let loose on the man that is Billy. Marcus, how sweet would this scene have been if after she kissed him, he made the connection and they spent all night telling stories about Jerry or something?
Yeah, that would have been nicer. That would have been
How nice would that have been?
Yeah. But they boned.
Wild.
They boned down.
They fucked. Fucked.
But I also get it. She has a type. She has a type because they kind of look similar. But it's also like, I'm not going to not fuck Jeffrey Dean Morgan if I'm single. You know, like even just as a straight man.
I'm talking about Billy. Like, what's his problem? Is he an idiot?
Maybe he's an idiot. He is. I mean, he's a musician, you know, like he's not, it's not a rocket scientist. I don't know his case, but he definitely should have put the two and two together.
I don't have a problem with her getting laid. I have a problem with her friends pushing it. And I have a problem with Billy not understanding the connection of not thinking for a second, maybe there were I have a problem with Billy thinking there were millions of Hollies out there with dead husbands. That was my problem.
There's only one Holly with one dead husband. Well, she also doesn't live in Ireland, right? So like I could see him not putting it together because she lives in New York City.
No, you can't.
He moved away to New York City. He doesn't know. Okay. And then she comes.
Marcus,
they boned down.
This is how I described it. My childhood best friend was named Zachary Jasinski. I haven't talked to that man in 10 years. But he was my best friend.
Yeah.
If he got married and died, and I met the woman that he married, and she said, my husband Zach just died, and I know that my best friend Zach, who I haven't spoken to in 10 years,
you just convinced me. Oh, I was on your side. You saying that for some reason has brought me to the other side now.
Marcus,
because I'm like, you know what? There's a chance.
No, there's not. Think of who your best friend was from 10 years ago. Think about Drew. We haven't talked to Drew in fucking years, right?
Yeah.
We might not talk to him for another 10 years, right? Imagine he remarried, he got a different wife. We knew her name, but we never met her. And then we met a woman, and then we found out Drew died. Okay, and then we met a woman. And we met a woman, and she was like, my husband Drew just died.
I would not put two and two together. I would not put two and two together. I would not. Because there's a million Drews. It's such a common name. I don't think I would have. You know what? You convinced me of the opposite.
What do you mean she didn't say his name? She didn't need to say his name. Her name is Holly. His best friend died, and his wife was Holly.
It could just be another Holly. Oh, man. You know what, Nick? You played yourself.
You asked the question.
If you didn't put it in these terms, I would have been like, you know what? I guess you're right.
No, you're wrong. No, you're all wrong.
No, you played yourself, man. Because now I'm like thinking about it, and if she's never met him before, she's only heard stories.
Marcus,
she doesn't really know.
She did meet him 10 years ago. Remember?
Oh,
she went. Billy.
But 10 years is a long time. You know. Especially if they're formative years.
There's too many things there.
Going from 18 to 28, that's a huge difference.
People who knew me at 18 would know me right now.
I wonder that sometimes.
I guarantee it. I have enough fucking Dunkirk Facebook friends to know that that's true. Like fucking checking in with me and wondering how I am. I'm like, I haven't fucked you in fucking 10 years. Get the fuck away from me. That's not a stretch.
This part didn't upset me that much. I like the Ireland segment. It was about the only part of the movie that I actually enjoyed.
Marcus, you're all wrong. It's weird. Billy's an idiot. I stand by this. This goes into the one thing that I hated about the movie. I think
it's very charming.
He was great.
Yeah.
But fucking idiot guy.
You know what it is? You know what it is though? It's Daniel. Back to Daniel again. I know he ruined it.
Oh my god.
But Daniel ruined it. Daniel made every other human being in this movie look like a great love interest, look like a normal, sane person. Like so seeing Jeffrey and seeing her interact with him, I was like, please God, give this woman anyone else to date that isn't fucking Daniel.
Oh my god. Marcus, the fucking Daniel fucking trying to be a little fucking bitch and be like, oh no, I love you. You hit on her at her husband's funeral.
Yep. The whole time he's like, I want you. You don't understand me. You don't understand me.
You know what I couldn't stand? I couldn't stand Hilary Swank's character, Holly, and I couldn't stand Daniel both saying how great of a friend Daniel has been. Marcus,
oh God, no,
he
was
the
worst friend.
A terrible friend. Worst friend in the fucking world.
Yeah, he's also like, oh, you want to fuck me because you hate men. What? Does he also catcall women every time he sees one? Like,
yes.
What? Like, it's just he's also like, side note, I did not think he was attractive. Like, which I know you don't need
not next to Jerry.
in a movie. but especially next to Jerry and fucking Billy or whatever his name is. Like between those two guys, this guy does not stand a chance.
Marcus, at the end of the movie, when they're both at Yankee Stadium, and she for some reason gives Daniel the last letter to fucking read out loud.
Dude,
whatever.
I cannot tell you.
I paused the movie and I turned to Lexi and I said, if they get together, I'm fucking done. I don't care anything that I fucking like. If they kiss right now and get together, I'm fucking done.
Yep.
And she said, shut up and watch the movie.
Dude, they were like, he was reading the letter to her. They were building up to this romantic climax between the two characters, and she's pacing back and forth. And then they like start getting closer together. And I'm like, the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, please don't kiss. Please don't kiss. Please don't kiss. And Darren's like rolling her eyes at me. I'm like, please don't kiss. She's like, they're gonna kiss. I'm like, no, don't kiss. I don't want them to kiss. Please.
It'll ruin the whole movie.
It was so bad. But then they kiss.
And then they did their bait and switch and whatever.
They kiss and they're like, oh, actually, we're just good friends. Which, back to their other point, they're not good friends. They're bad friends. He has
not been there for her at one point. Every single time he's seen her. Every single time since the funeral.
He's been trying to fuck her.
He was trying to get his.
That's it. The whole movie,
he was
just
not
trying
being
to fuck
compassionate.
Her. All conversations.
He was not letting her deal with her grief. Nothing.
All conversations about him trying to fuck her.
Wild. And then you find out that this is the thing that I thought I was wrong about the movie. At the end of the movie, Holly talks to her mother, Kathy Bates, and finds out Kathy Bates is the one that's been orchestrating the letters. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, when I first watched the movie, I thought that his letters stopped at some point and she was writing more letters for her.
Okay. Got it. That would have made this movie terrible.
That's what I thought it was for years.
That would have made this movie like Kathy Bates' other movie, Misery.
I must have glossed over it 15 years ago when I first watched it, and I fucking thought that's what happened. But all these years, I thought that was how the movie ended, but it wasn't. Very glad because that would have been awful.
That's a scary ending, not just bad. It's just scary.
Yeah, it'd be fucking nuts. That's what I thought happened.
Yeah, but so the mom goes to the main character and she's like, hey, I have the last letter. We've been working together this whole time. I was very impressed with him. I like that at the end he was able to win her over with that.
Yeah, that was nice.
By being a good planner, that the mom was helping the whole time. It was really sweet.
It was cute.
Yeah. A couple of other side notes that I want to mention.
Yeah, honestly, the movie would have been better if it ended there. I really hated the Yankee Stadium scene.
100%. The Yankee Stadium scene was
but
trash.
I hate
should have been in the movie.
Daniel, what were you saying?
Couple other things I gotta mention. My boy, Gerard Butler, was wearing so many jingly jangly bangles the whole fucking movie. I'm surprised they were able to get any audio off of him at all, because that shit would have been like the whole fucking movie. It was so bad. It was
2007, bruh.
It was obnoxious to the point where it was distracting from the rest of him and the rest of the movie and everything he was doing. What was my other thing?
David Keys from cinemafile.org said, I hated every calculated second of it with a passion. 0.5 out of 4.
Wow. Yeah. Also, the second thing, her job. Her getting a job. What did you think of this cliche?
First of all, in his first letter to her, he said, don't worry about your job, I've taken care of it. That never came back. That never transpired. I thought he had set up the perfect job for her or left her money or nothing.
Yeah.
None of that happened. You know what I did love? I did love when she went to the real estate place and the wife was being rude to the husband and she was like, don't listen to her. Listen to yourself. Honestly, I like that. That was cute. That was cute. But the fact that this fucking magical fucking
she
moment
just shows up
when a fucking buckle falls on a shoe.
Yep. A fucking buckle falls on a shoe, and now she's like, you know what? Magically, I'm good at shoe design now. And I guess they hinted, they're like, oh, she's always been good at design because she designed his
and she went to
box.
art school, they said. Yeah.
But she starts designing shoes. She goes to her friend. She's like, I'm sorry I abandoned you all this time because I was getting over my dead husband. Here's this cool shoe. Can I be in your wedding again? And it's just like, I don't know. It was so much. It was that totally like, it felt like on the same level of fakeness as the New York City apartment thing, where it was okay, cool. You magically just are good at this thing and have a great job now.
Yeah, very Hallmark, very dumb, very like tie it up with a bow.
Yeah,
it would have been way better if she didn't fucking have a job and was still poor but finally got over her husband. You know?
Yeah.
Like one thing, and the lesson would have been one thing at a time, right? What a great lesson that would have been. But also, how shitty are our fucking friends? Like,
oh man,
they're like, you haven't been here for me, bitch. Fucking, her husband just died.
Yeah, I know. It's like everyone was just like, nope, we're gonna be mean to you. Our priorities. But I kind of get it. It's like, okay, she has to move on a little bit, but how is she gonna move on with her dead husband writing her letters all the fucking time?
Yeah. Dash 942 said a great point. It's like, I'd rather her have the magic job than a magic new romance. That's fair.
I get that. Yeah. I'm glad that it didn't end with her. It kind of did end with her in a new-ish relationship, but it did end with her in an official relationship. She just goes back to Ireland in the end of the movie with her mom, and they meet Jeffrey Dean Morgan again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was an okay stinger. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was cute. Kathy Bates saw a man. She's like, ooh, another man.
I know. I kind of like that. I like Kathy Bates. She's in a lot of stuff.
You know what? I don't. This is gonna come off rude.
Oh no.
Is holding on to the abandonment of your father a white people thing? Because my father abandoned me, and I don't have abandonment issues. Your father abandoned you, and you don't have abandonment issues. We have other issues, sure, and maybe they're stemmed from that. But the trope of a person's dad leaving and them thinking all men leave, this isn't a just this movie thing.
No, it's not. It's a popular trope in films, but also take into account that a lot of people don't go to therapy and actually navigate the effects that these losses might have had on them. Like, sure, you say response. Your father leaving you doesn't affect you in any way, but doesn't it drive you to be a better father in the future? Doesn't it maybe make you want to be a good dad when really maybe you wouldn't have put as much stake into it? You know, like stuff like that. You know, how shitty my dad is makes me want to be a father more than anything, and also like want to be a good one. So like, it kind of does impact your life. I get what you mean, though. I kind of get what you mean. Where it's like being your personality trait, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be a personality trait that your father abandoned you. If anything,
I guess that's just bad writing, huh?
I think it's just bad writing.
Because it should be a part of the soup. It shouldn't be the main ingredient.
Exactly. Yeah. It shouldn't be like, I am flawed because of this one thing. It's just like, and I think because of movies, I think that's where you're probably getting it from. It's a lot of like, oh, my dad abandoned me. And because I think it's bad writing from a standpoint of also not being sexist, but a lot of times it's like in movies, it's part of a woman's character that she's like abandoned by her father. And because of that, she has problems dating men or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a trope against women almost.
That sounds
you
right.
know? And because most leads are white women, I feel like maybe that's why you could be associating it with a white thing.
Gosh, Marcus, I should say more problematic things more often because you just put yourself in a great light. You sound super smart.
I'm just helping, dig you out of it.
I will say, Dash 9442 in the chat did say, my dad left me, quirky art girl, can't keep a job. Anyway.
Yeah, that's honestly every fucking trope. Yeah. My dad left me, so I'm quirky.
My dad left me, so I'm quirky. Is there anything else about P.S. I Love You that you would like to get off your chest, Marcus, before we move on from this wonderful movie? Because we've got it from a fan.
I'm gonna say
other reason.
I don't have. I think I said everything that I wanted to say. Yeah. What about you? Do you have anything else? Any last minute things?
No, I do want to reiterate, though. I do want to reiterate that there were some sweet moments. I love the meet cute. I love Hilary Swank and Gerard Butler's chemistry. Yeah. There were some nice images. I don't understand why he was like, go to karaoke, and she went to karaoke. Was I supposed to find catharsis in these moments? I feel like the movie just didn't like lean in enough at these moments. Yeah. I think like if you're gonna be fucking melodramatic, be fucking melodramatic. Like fucking lean in. Like,
yeah, that's true.
The movie was trying to be like a real, honest interpretation of love, but some of these things were like so outrageous, like going to Ireland, making your widowed wife go to karaoke. They were just, in the letters, I did find it cute when Hilary Swank would be like, I don't want to do that. And then I saw the letters like, and don't say you don't want to do that. Oh, your mom's there, isn't she? Shit. I did like that stuff because
it's cute.
Because as you spend more and more time with someone, like now I've gotten into a new relationship and we're spending more and more time together. Already the bleeding is starting to happen, right? Like I'm saying lovely more because she says lovely all the time. Yeah. She said true facts the other day. I say true facts all the goddamn time. So like there were parts of this movie that honestly I did genuinely, enjoy. But man, the Daniel of it all.
Yeah, Daniel messed up the movie a lot for me. It really took me out of the whole
Totally.
experience. I like Gerard Butler. I kind of like them together. I think it's kind of cute. But yeah, okay.
So Marcus, let's hit our questions. P.S.
Hit
I
our
love you, Marcus.
questions.
Did you like the movie?
I did not like this movie. Nick, did you like the movie?
I didn't realize how hard this question was until you just asked that. Because I'm glad I watched it.
Sure.
Honestly, I enjoyed my experience, even at the cringy moments. They were just cringy enough to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Do I
But
like,
did you like it?
the movie? I'll say this. I enjoyed my watching experience, but it does not break my top 10 rom-coms of all time or anything.
So, okay. I understand you skirting the question. Okay.
Guys, I want to keep my relationship. I can't say that I hated this movie.
100%. You're being very diplomatic about it. I like it a lot. It's very good. You're being so
Marcus,
safe.
Marcus, would you recommend this film?
Nick, I would not recommend this film to anyone.
Hard stop.
Hard stop. Just would not recommend this film to anybody. If you like rom-coms, there's much better rom-coms out there.
Yeah.
Watch those.
About time. Fall on Our Stars, The Notebook. Go watch those and then listen to our podcast episodes.
Yeah. Nick, would you recommend this movie?
Honestly, I feel like there's a bunch of fucking saps who don't know what a good movie is that I'd be like, yeah, go watch P.S. I Love You. And they'll be like, oh, that was so romantic.
So you would recommend it to idiots?
I didn't say
Is
that.
what you're
No,
saying?
I think, honestly, I think I would recommend this movie. I think the problems that we have with it are problems people would be like, oh yeah, I didn't like Daniel, but wasn't it sweet how much they love each other?
Yeah.
Well, we're like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, I think
Yeah.
the things that bother us don't bother other people as much as they bother us. So I think I would
Okay.
recommend this film to a lot of people. Like, I wouldn't recommend it to Joseph,
Yeah.
but I would recommend it to like my mom.
That's good.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend this to my mom because my mom much rather see murder and gore and blood and horror movies. So,
Well, the main character dies.
but they don't show it. If they showed him dying violently, I feel like she would watch it.
Marcus, last question. If there is a sequel to the book,
Mhm.
would you watch a sequel to P.S. I Love You if it came out, even after all these years?
Oh, apparently the chat says the sequel is coming out and that my mom is a freak. Yes, she is.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, well, Marcus, are you going to watch the sequel?
Oh boy. Oh, digga
Honestly,
dang.
come on. Honestly,
Oh,
you totally
does
would.
it have, if it has Hilary Swank in it, well, what is the sequel? He writes more letters? Does she die? Oh, I'd watch the sequel if she dies and leaves letters to Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I'd watch that movie. That'd be pretty cool. It depends on what the plot is.
Marcus, Hilary Swank confirmed.
I don't want her to have another dead husband. I would like it if she died and left like Jeffrey Dean Morgan or another character that we don't know because she married someone else. That's what I want to see.
Huh. I mean, I don't want to read more about it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm
Oh my
genuinely
God.
I genuinely want to know what the sequel will be.
Okay, it says postscript picks up Holly's story 7 years after her husband's death when Holly's sister asked her to tell the story of P.S. I Love You on her podcast. Podcast!
Podcast Inception.
We need to watch it now because that's
We
doing
need to
podcast.
get Hilary Swank on the
We
podcast.
We need to get
Podcast!
anybody on the podcast. Anybody with
This is
any
true.
amount of fame, please, you're welcome to join the podcast.
All right, guys, that was P.S. I Love You. Thanks
Yep.
again to patreon.com/nowtrythiscast for the recommended. This movie has 7.7 out of 10 stars on IMDb. Anyway, thank you so much to the patrons. You guys keep the show alive. If you want to join that community, you can do it for just $1. We would love to see you there. You can personally message Marcus and I. We will respond.
Yeah,
We
100%.
love our fans.
Honestly, Patreon has been such a fun aspect of this. Like when we first started this, I was really nervous, because I was like, okay, I feel bad asking for money for things, but we have podcast costs to cover, if we're being honest, and we still haven't covered all of the costs of running a podcast. And it would be nice if we could at least one day cover all of the costs. And
Marcus,
we have a long way to go. So go and
Marcus,
join our
the
Patreon.
chat is waiting on bated breath. Can't wait to find out what next week challenge is. Marcus, next
Oh,
week
man.
is your challenge to me. What will I have to try?
Nick.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, that is good. Nick, I've been debating in my head what to give you. There've been plenty of things. I mentioned Taskmaster. There's been a lot of good anime that I've been watching, but I've been really stuck on sort of the anime thing, and we've been doing too much touchy-feely good times recently.
Oh no.
You know, we had Moulin Rouge. We had P.S. I Love You.
My skin's crawling.
It was just, the emotions are too happy-go-lucky here on the podcast.
No.
And so
Marcus, I just don't want to
in,
watch anything where someone's gonna like have sex with a head or anything. Okay.
No one's gonna have sex with a head, but someone's gonna fuck your mind, Nick. Okay, because we're watching Perfect Blue. Have you seen that movie?
Marcus, that's like the most famous anime movie. I've never seen it. I've always wanted a reason to. It's like supposed to be like the quintessential anime film, right?
Yes.
Oh shit, and I've never seen it. I've always wanted to. I'm so excited.
I've watched it because I was like, I want to give it to you for the podcast. It is an incredible film made by a very talented creator I've watched all of his other stuff. I love all of his other stuff. It took me a while to get to this one because it's one of those things where it's like, it's too popular. It's a quintessential thing. I want to watch it. So that's your challenge for next week. Perfect Blue. I'm very excited to get into your head, get into your mind, pull the film critic out of your heart, and talk about this film. Really dive.
Okay,
deep.
Perfect, guys. If you want to listen to us talk about Perfect Blue, you come over to twitch.tv/nowtrythiscast Thursdays. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also stream other stuff. Go ahead and check out our schedule there. You can get at us everywhere. You can get at people at Now Try This Cast. You can join the Patreon community at patreon.com/nowtrythiscast and leave us 5-star reviews on iTunes. We will read them on the pod.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us. Now go out there and try some things, baby. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Two friends get together so they can try things. Yell about it, it's podcast so that you can try things. Now we will stop singing so that we can all now try this.
That's not true.
I want you to know, I asked Lexi to get us podcast reviews and she didn't do it, so we don't have any new ones. And it's her fault.
Wow. Like, you wanted her to get us podcast reviews as in leave them herself, or get us podcast reviews as in find people in the street?
Podcast reviews this week and you didn't do it, so I don't have any new reviews.
Shitty girlfriend.
That's right.
Okay, are you ready?
Love you. Yeah, I'm ready.